Sylvia Nsima, and I am the Assistant General Secretary for the Uganda Evaluation Association, and you're all welcome to this evaluation talk today. Quick recap: Uganda Evaluation Association was formed in 2001 and is a professional association and is a national chapter for the African Evaluation Association. Key areas that we focus on is networking and to facilitate learning, sharing, literature, and practical evaluation frameworks by evaluators amongst us. The other key area is capacity building for evaluation, and today is one of the three areas that we are looking at. The third area is promoting professionalism in evaluation practice, and that looks at ethics and values of practicing, in our profession. So if you would like to join our society, please go and visit our website. All the details of joining and the premiums that can be paid are on there, or you can reach out to me directly and I'll put my email in chat. In the interest of time, I will introduce our presenters for today. Eugene, I'll let you introduce yourself and the individual that you are presenting with. Otherwise, you are welcome to this session today, and I hope you're all looking forward to learn as much as I am. Over to you, Eugene.
Okay, thank you very much, Sylvia, for that quick introduction. And I'm glad that Uganda Evaluation Association brought me to support in this particular national evaluation talk. And I don't take that for granted. My name is Eugene Miheso Swinnerstone, and I'm an independent M&E consultant and also a researcher. And amongst other things that I do, I am a part-time lecturer at Ernest University and doing business intelligence and database management systems. I've also worked with Makerere University and also worked with Uganda Technology and Management University in also facilitating capacity. Amongst also other things, I'm a certified project manager, I'm a certified meal specialist, and as we speak today, I come in as a certified qualitative specialist with Atlas TI, but also savvy in other tools around qualitative research. My colleague James, he will also come in and introduce himself later on. But he's the founder of AILYZE. Most people, just like you say analyze, you can say AILYZE. AILYZE. So some people say AILYZE, others say AILYZE and things like that. So depending from the school where you came from, you can use the word appropriately. So he's the founder, and his last course was in a master's from university from MIT, and we know what that means as a caliber school in the area of AI. So today we are going to just be in a place. I'm going to actually take a very unorthodox form of presentation so that we make these more intuitive and you can contribute as you see fit. So qualitative data analysis is one of those bespoke areas that most people always find issues with because some people, first of all, don't know how they can actually approach it. Some people might have a clue of how to approach it, but then miss the point along the way because they had too much to go through or to churn through because the data is too much. An assignment that I've worked on that has had a lot of, I worked on an assignment with ITAD UK, which had about 246 transcripts, and it took us about 6 months to actually work on that. So it is a vast amount of data that you actually have to continually churn through and look through. And it gives you sometimes headache to look through. And if you're not careful, you can actually lose your way in that process. So today we're going to look at some new tools that are coming into play to support us. But without so doing, I would like us to respond to this quick question here that I'm going to put in the chat. Just respond to it. Our chat is here. So just check the chat. You should be able to see it and you respond to it. So access the link. Are you able to see it? Please confirm you can see the link I've sent.
No, we haven't seen it.
Oh, okay, it is right there. Please respond to it. It is right there. I've sent a link. Just take your time, respond. And I'm going to share my screen. We are quite a good number. Please feel free, just respond to it quickly. Yeah, we see good answers coming in already. Okay, 30 more seconds. So we are seeing AI is taking everything, artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, AI, Google, Stata, Copilot, Perplexity, Big Data, Evaluation, Guide, Template, Combo, DHIS. Okay, I think we have a picture already. Everybody has this picture, and I think you can see what is happening on my screen after your answer. You can see that most of you are talking about ChatGPT and AI, and also artificial intelligence is coming in those circles. Internet of Things, data analysis software, artificial intelligence, questionnaire, cloud AI, robot, Gemini, Google Bard, DeepSeek software, Grammarly, ChatGPT. Actually, from these answers already, you can actually see that AI in literal sense is actually taking toll. Yeah. So I just want to, I think we can end this. And we run another small session. Sorry. So I'm going to run another one. And this one is very easy. You should be able to see it. And I've dropped inside the chat. So the other one is finished. Now respond to this one. This is a new one. So amongst the tools that you know in qualitative, we call them computer-assisted qualitative data analysis, CACDAS. Amongst those tools, which one would you prefer? So I've sent it over. Please have a look and respond to it. Interesting, interesting. So seemingly most of you have been using in vivo, some Atlas Atlas TI. I think the experience you've had for the last 2 days on AILYZE or AILYZE, I think has also given you, a bite into this. Interesting. Nice. Now we have a picture of where to start from. So if I go back to this, do you think the answer is in any of these aspects? So one of the things that marries all these is what we call in management adaptability and resilience. And that is what we need to have in our toolkit. Like I said, I'm going to be unorthodox in my presentation today so that we can actually just speak our minds. So one of the biggest tools that we have right now at our disposal is called adaptability and resilience. And amongst those is our ability to buy into new technology, new digital toolkits that can support the work we do. But all this happens because there's that tool in adaptability where you actually deal with the mindset of the community at large, especially a research community. They take long to actually buy into certain aspects because they want to first do some checks and balances and see some papers that have been published around it before they can actually, come back to you to a conclusion that actually that is actually what we can work with. So we did very well in this question, but that tool is actually called adaptability and resilience, which encompasses all these aspects of using digital toolkits to enhance our work productivity. So in essence, today we're going to learn about a new tool. So in traditional sense, when you're doing a data analysis, I'll walk through that process later on. Traditional qualitative data analysis, way back, I did one project that gave me an experience of doing manual coding. And this should be in 2016, where we were using papers to pin, like the different color bands. You pin these here, you pin that there, theme on marriage, you pin it there, theme on. So you end up having a lot of things and then start looking at transcripts and getting different color markers, highlighters, and mark through conversations with that particular color code for that particular theme that you've identified. Very interesting process, but very long process. And now we have, so the other one was the super traditional method, the manual coding. But now we have our traditional tools. And those tools that came into play, QD, A-minor, we still have. Max QDA, we have Atlas TI, we have NVivo. All these tools are really good. But because they are seeing what's actually happening in the market, they have also changed their way because they're introducing AI models inside their tools so that they can actually remain relevant. Taking us back to that first question, what is that tool that we need? It's called adaptability and resilience, the mindset. So they have looked at what is actually happening in the market, and they have actually changed their approach. Now, today, we are going to talk about a tool that is kind of new in approach to qualitative data analysis. It does not take the traditional form of the literal coding inside the tool, but actually it helps you to actually do or generate. You first generate your mother codes. After you generate your mother codes, then you are in now position to now use that to feed inside this tool to help it to now tell it what exactly it wants or needs. And then it should be able to generate some aspects regarding the mother codes you've generated, and also the AI codes it will have also generated. So we are going to walk through this process. But for us to do this, we need to understand the traditional way of doing this. So I'm going to just open a Word document so that I know we are talking the same language. So the fundamentals, there are fundamentals to any qualitative work. And those fundamentals, especially in qualitative data analysis, I'm not going to go into the school of thought of qual and where it comes from, but I'm going to talk about more on how you engage and know how to engage qualitative data so that we start somewhere in the middle. Now, coding is a very interesting process that we cannot run away from, especially if your research is, number one, mixed, or it is purely qualitative. You will not run away from coding. It's going to be one of the basic practices that you're going to perform. And for us to be able to do this, we need to understand what is a code. A code is basically a label word. So I have one long whole sentence, but I need to be able to generate 1 or 2 words to be able to tell the story. And today we have already done some practice. I asked a question and I limited you to maximum 2 words, and you've given me answers, either 1 word or 2 words. So coding is the same process. You read through a set of instructions and you're able to generate labels that can identify that particular whole sentence. For instance, if I'm having a sentence talking about fisheries and kind of fish that is being harvested in that particular lake, I might have several codes that I can actually attach to that. Number one, type of fish can be a mother code. But if the type of fish is mentioned, I can have a baby code that is actually generated on that mother code and say we've been referred to Nile perch as a baby code. We've been referred to tilapia as a baby code and things like that. But we shall do this from an example point, so don't mind me right now. So there are things we need to note when we're doing qualitative. And most of the things, one of the things that is always disturbing us is that bias towards something. Of course, there are different types of bias, and as researchers, I am sure we all know the types of bias that we might face. The sampling bias, the context bias, and all those. But there is that context bias that always comes along, especially if a researcher is from a certain field. They might end up generating certain codes that suit them and negating the ones that don't suit them. So, and as we know, purposive sampling is basically subjective. A qualitative research is basically subjective. So some of these aspects will augur well, but you need to put in check most of the work you're doing, and you need to justify some of the things so that we can actually qualify your research if that is in academic work. But if it's in developmental work, you still need to show that you adhere to some basic ethical etiquette that can actually resound to making your results that you're going to display or put out there relevant to the community that you're going to be serving. Now, with that said, there is a very small process that I'm going to demonstrate of what happens in our data, how we do our data. Vincent, please rub the lines you're drawing. I'm going to use this to draw. In basic sense, we have sets of codes. We generate a lot of codes in qualitative. So you can think of as 1,000 dots, 2,000 dots, and wherever inside here. And this is a set of codes that you'll have generated. And it's a process of labeling individual sets of data inside here. But the funneling system inside qualitative allows us to now, once we have finished looking at the individual sets of data and we have labeled it, we only go back to confirm certain aspects. But going forward, after your coding, you no longer deal with the first level document. You deal with the codes as they are. So it is from the codes that you're going to now speak to the codes, ask questions from those codes. Is this code related to the other code? Is this code related to the other code? And that process reduces your codes to, if initially we had 2,000 codes right here, or 2,000 labels of code, you might end up having, let's say, 500 that you've identified that are not so many. And that process of working with the codes is the process we call categorization. So you create categories from codes. So you can think of it as a basic funnel. They call it the funneling system. So the codes are right here. Categories will follow next. And then, depending on the type of research or of analysis you're going to conduct and the research design that you have initiated, most of the research will actually reach at this stage, where you now identify the themes. So from these 500 categories, you're able to pick out the most speaking codes to, let's say, approximately 12 or 20 of them that you have identified. But of the 20, probably 6 are so much spoken about that you can do away with the rest of the 6, but you cannot miss out the 6. So when I'm doing my research and I'm writing about it, I'm now going to concentrate on these 6 of the 12 that are being spoken about, but I can leave the other 6 to be talked about somewhere else, probably during the narrations. So in our funnel, you finish with the codes here, and then now you come to categories, and now you come to your themes right here. Now, most of the times, depending, like if you're doing, let's say, thematic analysis, if you're doing content analysis, if you're doing narrative analysis, if you're doing IPA, you're going to most of the times not go beyond this stage. But if you're going beyond this stage, the only remaining stage in this analysis is what we call theorizing, right here, where from all these identified themes, you are able to develop a theory that can now inform your research. So for those who are doing grounded theory, this is now where you get yourself right here. If you're doing ethnography, you'll also reach on the themes. You might not extend, but depending on the model, you can actually extend if so is wished. Now, with this said, I would like us to now embark on exactly what needs to be done, because We have seen what ought to be done here. This is just a general process. Now I want us to go inside a tool to help us understand this scenario. I'm going to open, I have all the Qual tools here. I have NVivo, I have Atlas, I have MaxQDA, but I'm going to open Atlas because I have something of interest on it. It is opening, just give it a second. So as it is, okay, it is right here. So I have a couple of projects here, but I'm interested in, where's the PDM one? There's one that we did, okay. Okay, let me use this as an example for now. Sorry, I think I'm overworking the machine. That's why it is taking long. Let me see if I can alternate between the machines so that I don't take too much load on this one. Okay, this one is much faster. So I'm just going to change the screens so that I use this side. So yeah, this one also has the PDM. Yes. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing this side. Okay, confirm you can see my screen, please. Are you able to see it?
No, we are seeing you
Not yet.
instead.
We are seeing you, Eugene. We're not seeing your screen.
Okay, just a sec. Okay. How about now?
Yeah, we can see the screen now.
Yes, we
Okay.
can see the screen.
Let me use this project. I'm gonna close this and open. Okay. I don't see my other screen is okay right here. So I've opened this project so that I can show you just an example of how you can code in a traditional tool vis-a-vis what we are going to do today in AI.
Excuse me, Eugene, if you're speaking, your mic is muted. We can't hear you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I've been speaking all along to myself. My goodness. Thank you for that reminder. So we have around 157 documents that are inside this project. We ran this project in 2022, and I was the lead qualitative fellow on the project, courtesy of University of Texas, Austin. And as you can see, once we went through the documents, all these documents here, all of them, they are in each document. Let me just open an example. You can see that in this document, we have several codes that we had to code a lot of things. We had to code personas, which is something that is also inside AILYZE. We coded personas, we coded locations before we actually got down to the actual content. For instance, now actual content is coming out here. There is a challenge. And as you can see, this one is now already worked on to identify the mother code that is generated from the question, which is the urban challenges or disadvantages, and with the baby code, which is the insecurity. Insecurity now becomes the baby code. So what is one of the urban challenges is insecurity. You might meet that there are other different kinds of urban challenges that have been mentioned by different interviews. So you're able to code these through the process. Once you finish this process of reading through the actual document, we don't spend much time on the document, the actual document. Now we go inside the codes and now work the codes. So before these folders came up, before these amalgamation of codes came, we had to actually go through the different sets of code. We had to go, for instance, if I open this, we will actually see business classification, business development, management opportunities, business sector, all of them tantamount to development aspects. So we actually put them in one group. That one group is also what you can refer to as a category. So as you do this, you can actually even go ahead and confirm. If you're not so sure about a certain code, you go back. If you double click here, it takes me to where I exactly did the coding, and I'm able to pick that place and actually compare what it's actually saying. Now, for us to get to a place where we now do the themes, because now this one enters the theme area, because we have identified all the ERI challenges, the external influences, the external retail investments, all of them tantamount to only one thing: external retail investment. So that one becomes one of our key themes from this. So for you to be able to do this, it is a process. It takes a while, but you should be able to start now reading those codes and trying to make sense out of those codes. But with context in mind, you know what your proposal has talked about. You know where you've come from. So you having that context, by the time you're actually doing these narratives or trying to pick out the themes, you're in position to do so. But now, with the introduction of AILYZE, we're going to run this together because all of you have the software, I presume. If you did not, I don't know how we're going to work, but you can, I'm sure all of you received the invites. So you should be able to have access to it. If you don't have, that means you'll have to create a trial version on your own. But those ones who received invites, they have a pro version for the next 14 days from yesterday. So you can try it, you can put in some transcripts, and you try it on your own. Now, for this purpose, I'm going to open AILYZE, and we're going to go through this together. And I want us to understand, why am I doing this? I'm doing this because the first point I brought on board was adaptability and resilience. We're in a place and in a space where we won't run away from technology. And in one of the sessions I attended last year in October in South Africa, one of the government officials there admitted to the fact that they use AI to analyze their data. But they don't only use one tool, they use several tools. They have paid versions of the tools, so they use this tool, cross-check with another tool, so that there is that ability. But the traditional data is also there that can actually say, oh, no, there's a problem here. So we need to be able to embrace this because it's already there. And the sooner we embrace it, the better, because we might be left behind. So, but we are going to also look at the ethical side of this as we have a chat. Now, I'm going to open AILYZE and some sample transcripts, which I'm going to also share with you on the group. So, sharing now my screen again. Share screen. And I'm now going to open Vivaldi. I'm sure you can see my screen. And if you don't mind, you can also open yours so that we work together in this process. So this should be the first screen you meet when you open AILYZE. So analyze AILYZE. So AI qualitative data analysis software. So AILYZE. AILYZE. So this is my screen. And there's nothing here too much. It gives you information about what this tool is all about. It tells you how to upload, how to select an analysis type. Are you seeing my screen? I presume so.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yes, we're seeing. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you can also determine the kind of reporting that you would like to see. There are different types of documents that you can actually upload in here. You can upload PDFs and Word documents. You can even also upload basic Excel CSV data to just have a look at, some descriptives, not necessarily the inferences. You can also transcribe your audios, which comes at a different cost, even if you're inside the tool already. Then James has an experience with this one. He did a UN job. And in most of us who are in the M&E field, we know what we call fragility projects. For instance, you cannot deploy somebody in Gaza right now to be able to do some of these things. So we create an avatar to represent some of the personas so that we can actually really capture that data. So that can also be done within AILYZE. So I want us to, I'm going to share. Just a sec.
Carol, please mute.
I don't know who that is, so thank you. So I'm going to share, I'm sharing this data with all of us. I don't know how you'll receive it, but it is data I used before, and I've also had a chat with Dr. Maria, and she has agreed that I can actually use it. So I think there won't be a problem if I share a couple of these. Let me see. Oh, Okay, these were the questions. Let me see if I can identify. Just give me a second and I get you the transcript. Just a sec. So we played around with some of this data. Okay, let me see. Okay. Okay, I am sending it here. I don't know what will be the best form to send this to. I don't know if I use the email or if I drop it inside your. So that I just want to send you 2 transcripts and we do something on AILYZE and then I explain the concept.
Drop it on WhatsApp.
Sorry?
Drop it on WhatsApp, it's fine. I'll drop it online, it's fine.
Yeah, I think let me drop it on inside our Zoom chat. Okay, dropping now. It's uploading as we speak. Does it come through?
Not yet.
Not
That's
yet,
weird.
but I think it will drop.
That's weird. It doesn't take that long. Okay, let me stop this. I'm going to get 2 transcripts from. Okay, let me try again. Our chat here. Nothing yet?
No.
What's happening? Okay, let me.
Maybe drop on mail.
Can you use our own transcripts?
Okay, you may use yours, but I wanted us to use a similar transcript so that
Okay.
we. Okay, check again. I don't know if it has.
Please, is it possible to drop at the WhatsApp group?
No, actually, my bad. You see, there are 2 windows that I've opened. There are 2 windows that are opened for Zoom, and I was dropping inside one of the existing groups instead of dropping to the current one. Sorry, it's my bad. Okay, trying again to the right window, right here. There you go. Has it come through? You should be having them now.
Not yet. You probably must be dropping to the same open window.
No,
again.
I've dropped them here. Just let me do this. KII Rubaga and KII Rubaga M. One is for female, another one is
They
for
have
male.
come.
They've come through.
We've
come
got
through.
them now.
Okay. So I'm also going to use the same to drop inside this particular documentation. Now that we have received, those ones who have their personal, and you know it might not have I did seek consent to use this before I used it. So yeah. Okay, if I go to chat right here, I have the two documents. I'm also going to pick them and use them. Now I want us to do the basic thing. So on this window, you're going to see that you have home, about, launch, AILYZE Pro. You're already inside Pro, contact and blogs. I would like us to do the first option under launch AILYZE Pro. When you go to AILYZE Pro, it has around 8 options. Number 1, analyze documents, transcribe, speak with a demo, chat with data, analyze Excel or CSV files, translate. You have some document in French. Actually, my colleague, Dr. Ponge, was asking for a service like that one. Probably this might come in handy. Translation of a French document to English. This tool is able to help you. You can also do some web scraping from here, and you can also create surveys. Now, I would like you to click on Analyze Documents / PDF. Once you're here, you should be able to create a new project, because that is the only option you have anyway. It is the only option. So under here, you click Create Project, and you can see we have existing files because it's inside this tab, Use Previous Documents. This is not our interest. Our interest is to create or upload new. So click on Upload New. And then under this option, you're seeing you're able to browse local files. If you've saved them on G Drive, you can do so, or Dropbox or OneDrive. Now I have these documents on the local drive. So I'm going to go to downloads.
Please repeat the process. You left me somewhere.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. So under the launch, on the menu bar up, we have Home, About, Launch AILYZE Pro, and Contact and Blogs. I would like you to concentrate on Launch AILYZE Pro, AILYZE Pro. Under that, select Analyze Document or PDF. Click on it, and it will request you to create a new project. If you had previous projects, they will show up here. We don't have any, so it is blank. So we are going to create a new one. When you click on that, it brings you this window that has Use Previous and Upload New. Use Previous files means you can reuse the already uploaded files in AILYZE, or you can actually upload new. And our interest right now, because we haven't created anything else, we are going to create new. So Upload New. And under this option, we are saying you can access your files locally. You can get them if you save them on Google Drive or Dropbox or OneDrive, you can easily get them. For this matter, I've saved this one on a local space. So I'm going to locate them, and they should be inside, should be under this. Just a moment. In documents, do I have Zoom right here? Oops, just a sec. Okay, okay, I'm dropping them under documents inside here. So they should be here. So they are here. So locate where you have saved them. And you can select either one or select both. For this matter, I will I will select that, then I press Shift and then select both of them, the two of them, and drop them. The other option is to open the exact folder. You can open the exact folder. Under Documents, locate the two documents. They should be under here. They are here. And then drag and drop inside that space. So that is option 2. Once you do so, you have these two documents uploaded right here. So as we speak, the two documents are being, they have been put in space, but they need to be uploaded. So you click on Upload right here. And as we speak, uploading complete 100%. You have the ticks, the small ticks on them. So this is inside now your working space. And once this is done, it takes you to the next stage. And that next stage is for you to now be able to determine the type of analysis that you want these documents to go through. Remember, we are not going to determine the type of analysis here. Remember, while you are doing your proposal or for development aspects, if you had already written your inception report, inside there you had already indicated how you're going to approach your data collection and things like that and analysis. So you use those methods you had already proposed to be able to do this. Don't just come and say, oh, let me try this. So it needs to be by what you had already proposed. So in here, you can select a couple of tasks to be done for you by AI. One is to get a summary of these two documents. You would like to also get the themes, and it will also generate for you an AI codebook, not yours. So by practice, you should have already generated yours. You will have your basic codebook. And from that codebook, you're able to translate it into some of this. So it is asking you to get the themes, the codebook, and frequency analysis. And the other question is get answers to questions and frequency analysis. So if you have some sets of questions you're interested in, just like you type in ChatGPT, ABCD, you can also put them here. So for this matter, we shall do this too. Do I have any other question I need to ask about this? Probably if we have a contextual issue that we are specific about. For instance, if I had a couple of research questions inside my report, my proposal, evaluation matrix questions or something like that, you can actually put them here. If you have a research question from an academic side, you can also put it here. Then we have another option here. If you're going to be doing gender mainstreaming, you're a GESI expert and you like to look at the gender aspects, the type of publication that you need to be developed, you can go ahead and also generate this. But for now, I will not go into that. I will also skip this. I'll concentrate on this too. It tells me you have an optional instruction here. Please specify the name of your project. We can say testing in National Evaluation Talk. You can use yours. Specify the preferred language. By default, this is already in English, but if you're in another country, I saw our colleagues from Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and I also saw some people from
Mozambique.
From Belarus. I saw somebody from Cote d'Ivoire, from Cape Verde. So depending on the language, you can actually choose here and you get that option. So we go to the next. You can enable visualization or remove it. Then you go to next. And now it brings you to this phase where it asks you, depending on the options you chose up here, it will ask you this next question. Now, get themes, codes, and frequency analysis. So, do we need to get AI-generated themes? I'll select yes. And as we speak right now, it's already looking through the 2 documents to generate something already. Now, if you had already done your mother codes and even thought of any other baby codes that you have, you can now go ahead and select this other option here. Use your own themes or codebook, which you can upload. But we have selected this, and it has already identified one of the mother codes is inclusion, impact, and access barriers. It has identified economic and social outcomes. It has also identified access barriers. This is just from the data we have uploaded, the 2 documents. You can add sub-themes if you want that you've already identified or you are thinking of. And then, like I said, if you don't use this option, you can use this if you have your own. So this one allows you to now, if you had already, by practice, this should be, because as a researcher, you shouldn't give and delegate everything to AI. You should be able to also have some sound to what actually is being done by AI. You can actually be the one to suggest, these are the codes I've identified from these questions. So you can post them here, paste them in here, and use them. But for now, I don't have any. Okay, I can use both. Apart from the above, I can, because this was on Ruwaga, this was on PDM. So I can add something on social inclusion. So social inclusion as another one. And then I can add something on saving culture. So these are the things, the main themes it has identified. It has identified governance inclusion as a theme. It has identified organizational capacity and PDM implementation and economic outcomes. And from this, it has identified the mother codes that can actually go in between there. So it has identified enterprise portfolio, reach and livelihood, operational processes, and all of them pour into PDM implementation and economic outcomes. It has identified another theme, organizational capacity. So this one is actually doing more like reverse engineering. Now, the traditional way, you actually have to go through all these things. Remember our first illustration, codes, and then you do the categories, then do the themes, and then if you are doing grounded theory, you do the theorization. Now here, it has already identified the potential themes from the data that you've already put. It has already identified potential mother codes, financial resourcing that pours into organizational capacity, material and logistical constraints that pours into that same theme. So it has already done the categorization. Now, we have these 2 that we have included, and we would like to see what will AI tell us about these two themes that are suggested. Then you go to format list. When you paste, you have to format the list. And you can see it has included this. It has also included this, but I will not put anything. I will leave AI to be able to pick for me those sub-themes and mother codes from here. So we are going to go and do create project and start analysis. Just a moment. I can remove this and also remove that. Remove this. Sorry, just remove the sub-theme so that it plays with those 2. Yeah. Okay. So once you finish that process, it now takes you to where we need to now select the type of analysis you want to do. Number 1, you have the bigger window the first window, this window here. And the first category is determining the market or the type. So are you more into academia? Are you doing an evaluation? Or are you doing a market or product research? If you're in an academia, what kind of analysis do you want to do? Do you want to do a thematic analysis, an evaluation research, a confirmatory research, linguistic analysis, policy analysis, or systematic review? If you are into development world and you're doing an actual evaluation, which type of evaluation? Are you doing a program evaluation? Are you doing a social impact evaluation? Are you doing a case study, a stakeholder engagement analysis, or a risk? Most of us who are in development world are going to choose program evaluation. And from program evaluation, you have the type. Are you doing a logic model analysis? Are you doing an outcome evaluation, process evaluation, summative, formative, and so on and so forth? I think all of us are familiar with all this, especially the ones who are from practicing, from the practical side of things. So we have seen a lot of calls on end line, midline, baseline, feasibility, needs assessment. All of them will fall under program evaluation. All of them are here. Now, this was not an evaluation project. It was an academic project. So I'm going to select, I want to do a thematic analysis that is context-based. So I'm going to do maybe a narrative analysis. Now, once we finish this process, we are going to come and say, create project. I'm sure you have moved with me up to that point. And right now, as we speak, it will pop up this window and tells you analysis has started. And if you did it on your side, you should have received an email already telling you that, not an email will come when it is done. But right now, inside this process, it will show you that's actually processing here. And it is telling you it is on 14% right now. And I'm doing as me. The beauty with this, you can actually invite somebody else to be part of this project and work on it. Now, as it is working and doing its magic, I would like us to address the ethical sides of this. I know we still have around 48 minutes, but I'm going to open another program. Some of you might be familiar, some of you might not be familiar. So because I've taken qualitative analysis as my bread and butter, I've also invested in knowing things around it that can help me become better at what I do. But I'm also sharing this with you so that you can also become better at practicing this and also becoming better, analysts or give results that are credible. At the end of the day, actually, that is the key thing. We need to be credible with the results that we give, because you don't want to, these are the scenarios. You don't want to, number one, generate a very good, nice AI-generated report. And you end up, giving quotes that are non-existent. It never came from the document. So if somebody asks you, Eugene, where did you get this quote from? You cannot even defend it. You cannot look the person in the face and say, oh, no, I did ABCD. No, there's nothing you can do about it, because you are gotten as a consultant, and the virtue you're called a consultant, you're supposed to be able to show that you are good at what you do. So you need to be able to prove the work you do and ensure that what you do, AI is there. It should be able to help you in, it takes a long time for you to start sentence one, but AI is able to give you a starting point. Hey, you start like this, and it gives you that push, which is a good thing. But not everything that is inside there is going to be valuable. You need to be able to churn through that report and be able to come up with relevant and necessary checks and balances that ensures that you have the right quote, you have the right sentence that you can actually articulate and be able to explain and say this quote is actually a valid quote from this particular document. I'm opening my Python backend checker. I have written a code that now helps me to check some of the, I do both, because in Atlas TI, even in Vivo, Max QDA, they all have also introduced AI modules inside them that helps you to look at some of the data. But I'm telling you this, the quotes they're going to give you, they are either contextualized quotes or they are paraphrased quotes. And you'll have a problem defending yourself to what, number one, if it's in academia, to your supervisor. Number two, if you've been contracted in the development projects, you cannot defend it to the client. Yeah. So we need to be genuine in what we do. So that's why I'm opening this, and I want us to, we are going to cross-check some things later on. For now, not so sure. James, are you in or not yet? James should have joined us now. He was supposed to join an hour towards the end. James, go. Are you in? Probably hasn't. Let me send him a quick reminder so that he can join. Okay, I think it is still working. Just let's give it a sec. I think it should be done, I presume. Oh, it's still processing. Okay. It's still in process. So as this is working, I'm sure also your side, the machine is busy breathing. It is working. I'm going to send James a message so that he can join us quickly. Yeah, give me 2 minutes. I should be able to do that in just a bit. Okay. It is still working. So some of the ethical issues, I'm running my Python. So this is now on the technical side of things. So this is the easy part. This is the, the sending, and it gives you context, really. It gives you really good context. You're able to start from somewhere. And to me, I like it for that factor. Atlas TI will not give me where to start from. And Vivo will not give me where to start from. Because yes, I've generated the codes, I've developed now the categories and themes, but I still need to dig deep and be able to come up with a narrative. Right now, I can get some of that, but to me, I think there's an advantage that we have on AILYZE because it really contextualizes the issue by virtue of those choices we chose. Now, I'm going to show you this window as that one is working. Now, I'm running my Python on this as we speak. And I have this script here. I call it the quote finder here. It's a Python script that will look through all the documents that I have within that context. Yes. all the documents. So for instance, I just need to, I've already defined the path. Where this is stored, there's already a path. So what this code does is to ensure it can actually pick what has actually been inferred or referred to, and I'm able to confirm that if it actually exists or not. And when I run that code, let me, just a second. I need to pick my two files and put them there. So I'm going to put it under documents, Anaconda. Okay, so I'm going to create a new folder here. New folder, and I call it test. Test net. Under here, I generate so I'm just going to get, I already have this. So we're going to have this one-liner. And this one-liner, let me put our two files, KII Rubaga and KII Rubaga male and female. I put them inside that same folder. I'm gonna so under here, I've located where this is. So we created this folder, and I can say inside this folder, I call it test data, and then add in our two files. Our two files are here. And if I come to so I just put here test data. So I'm waiting for, I don't know if the email has come through. Has it finished? Let me check if it is done.
Eugene, just to ask you a question.
Yes, yes, please.
So what are you trying to achieve currently?
Okay. So this is what is on my screen right now. It is still processing. And once this is done, I'm not so sure if some of you have already received an email that it is done processing. But I also think we are very many of us, I think that can also be a factor. We are very many of us accessing the same server at the same time. That's why I needed James to be here, and he sees this. Because as per now, it should be done already, because these are only two transcripts. So it should be done already, literally, but it is taking a while. But the point I'm trying to pass across with this, and of which I will be happy to also share this with the community if they need to. There are quotes that are going to be generated, whether you're using Atlas TI and Vivo. If I come to Atlas TI here, and I'm already inside this project, and you go to search and code, you're going to meet something called conversational AI. Under it, when you open it, it asks you which documents do you want to interface with. So let me say I want to interface with the Acholi documents. And Acholi has only one. So let's say let me deal with the Buganda ones, there are 11 of them. So when I say start chat, it gives me an option to talk with the data, to be able to identify certain things. But I don't have this folder inside my Python folder, so it will not help. But we need to work with what is already running so that we are able to reproduce properly. So it tells me that this is ready. Once I come here and let's say type possible, you get me quotes. This was on ITAD. Quotes that are specific to youth empowerment. When I click on this, it needs to be able to look through. So in literal sense, you're supposed to be reading through all your documents to do this. But this is going to be to help you to be able to identify those codes. And as you can see, it has identified around 5 codes with specific aspects. So it tells you one of the codes is talking about youth participation in planning. Youth are motivated to participate in planning process of the initiatives and so on and so forth. It tells you another quote is available regarding the youth influence in decision making. Another one is about youth access to dignified work. Another one is about the barriers they face in employment, and another one is on government and private sector support. Now, we cannot negate this data. This data is actually valid because there are things that you have identified already inside your themes, but you just want to be able to prove that actually what you're talking about is existing. So if we get this quote here, are we able to prove that actually this quote exists? So let's go to this point. It is saying that if we go to this document, we're going to be able to identify the barrier. So, and we can see the quote is actually here. It comes from here. So we are able to prove that actually comes from this particular place. So it makes you to actually really be in position to speak about that point on barriers of employment because you actually have the quote that supports that particular point. There are some times when you have over-asked questions from a Gen AI perspective or LLM, large language models, it reaches a place and it starts to hallucinate. And it might not actually give you this exact quote. It will actually now play around and paraphrase it. And some clients won't like that you've actually paraphrased and added some context to it. It needs to be as is. So what I'm doing with this process here is to ensure whatever you actually get is actually proofed, and you can be able and in position to support the quotes that you've actually gotten and put in your document. So let's just check if this has finished or it is still, oopsie. I think we are many. How many, by just show of hands, how many of us are also running the model? By show of hands. You can just, wow, it's a number, yeah. So everybody's actually running, a couple of us are running models, the same model. So I think that's the reason to why we're facing this. And I think, I don't know if James is gonna be here. James, are you in now? He responded that he's going to join. I don't know what he's doing now. Maybe he's also busy on the server side to ensure the server doesn't crash with all of us in. Okay. Yeah, he's here. Thank you, James, for coming in. And I'm glad that you made it at the right time. I think 12 of us are running the model, and we only have 2 transcripts that we are running, and seemingly there's somebody who even got kicked out. Yeah, so I think this is really good feedback for James, so that he can actually work with refine the model properly. So we've been here for the last let's say 15 or so minutes, and I think the individuals I talked about, each one of us uploaded 2 documents and 2 transcripts, and from those 2 transcripts, as per now, all right, I see I've received a notification that it's now done, so we can check it. I've received a notification, but here it is still processing. Interesting. Those ones who are running the models, have you received the notification? Because once the model finishes to run, we should be in position to now click. You have received, okay? No, not yet. Some people have not yet, but still in progress. Okay, this is really good feedback for James, because by now, once I receive that email, I should be able to click on test in net, and the project opens, because our interest is now on proofing those particular aspects that are inside our data. The report. I tell you this, the report is pretty good. The report is, it comes out nice. Like I said, it gives you a very good picture. And from that picture, you are in position to now determine what goes inside your write and what can also be ignored. So you don't have to write everything. So going back to my first address today, adaptability and resilience. We need to be able to adapt to these new technologies that are coming into play, but we need to be ethically sound while we are actually using them, because we also don't want to dilute the rigor that goes into research by just basically copying and pasting. We still need to read through what has been generated to confirm and affirm that what has actually been generated augurs well, and you pick only what augurs well. What you think and what cannot be proved by the data that you have, then you also ignore it. So there are a lot of ethical issues, and I now know a lot of people are doing things around AI for social good and also ethics. And as practitioners, both in research, in academia, and also in practice, especially in the development world, we need to be in position to have data that is always going to not be questioned. Right now, yes, they're going to question you. How did you process this? Somebody's going to ask you, how did you come to this? You, first of all, showing that you are ethically sound is that bit of integrity in you that will show that you got support from AILYZE. And from AILYZE, you're in position to also make certain adjustments so that the data is good enough to be showcased. Because most of us, what we do right now, all the journals, if not most, have accepted the quoting and the referencing, the citation of AI models or an AI support inside the write-ups. So in the development world, is not different. We are supposed to still be in position to indicate the support we receive from also other tools that are available to us. Because if we don't do that, then the whole bit of AI for social good is actually being killed. The integrity, the ethical aspects are also running out of the window. So we have a tool that is available to support us. And that is very important. So as we wait for this project to get finished, maybe I would like to invite James to at least address us as we wait for this, because my interest was to showcase how I'm going to pick a quote from that project, and I also run it here for our test so that we can actually prove some of the quotes that have been gotten from there. James?
Yeah, I think thanks for inviting me. My name is James. I helped to found this AI platform. So I'm glad that you managed to create a project. It does take some time, of course, depending on how many questions, how many themes you're trying to analyze. We try to go very deep into your data to ensure that the analysis is very comprehensive. So, it should take just, 10, 15 minutes. So you could just wait for the project to be completed. I think some of the key pointers that I wanted to share is number one, you'll see that the AI gives you a lot of analysis and you'll go into quite a lot of depth. So I think I think what you'll have to do is just make sure that you just pick and choose the relevant insights to your project. Sometimes, it can be a bit overwhelming because AI generates a lot of insights that you can then choose. But it's sort of a happy problem that you'll be able to find all the different angles and different approaches to analyzing your data. The second is, I think just like what Eugene mentioned, the AI is there to support you, but you still need to do the synthesis. So you'll see that in all of the analysis, the AI is primarily helping you organize your insights into different topics. It's putting your insights into a more structured format, helping you summarize those insights. And so AI is just helping you identify what the majority opinions were, or minority opinions, or opposing viewpoints. But the synthesis, how it applies to your research question, how it applies to the broader literature, how it applies to your hypothesis, those require synthesis, and that's only able to be done by you. In addition, there are some things that the AI should do and some things that you probably want to pay more attention to. So things like extracting relevant quotes, things like finding the key viewpoints, things like quantifying how many participants spoke about different viewpoints. A lot of that can be done by AI. And also, I know that a lot of people are worried about things like hallucination and bias, but with the platform, you should be relatively assured because you can click on the quotes, you can look at the citations, and it's fairly, it just helps you summarize that information. So unlike, AI for medical diagnosis or AI for financial risk management, those are more high risk use cases where bias and things like that would make a big difference. I think here we're using AI mostly to summarize information. So you may not need to be overly worried about some of these points. Where you do have to be more worried is on the following. AI doesn't have full context of your research. So if you're uploading documents and, from the documents, it's not clear what the context is, then you might want to pay more attention to analyzing some of those questions or some of those documents. So just to give an example, acronyms, AI might not understand some acronyms that your participants might be using or the reports that you might be uploading. Sometimes, if you're analyzing interview transcripts, that your interviewees might be saying one thing. They might say, I partnered with XYZ, but in reality, it's not a partnership. It's just, maybe an employment or some other relationship. So what the AI will just take the insights at face value, and it won't necessarily probe a lot deeper because it just treats your data as the source of truth. So you have to also have full appreciation of your data. if a report says that this program was extremely successful, then the AI will just summarize that information and tell you that, oh yeah, the program was very successful. So it's just treating a lot of the source data as it is. So you need to still exhibit that synthesis, that critical thinking, to look over some of that insights, to understand how those summaries are being made. So what I'm trying to say is just pay more attention to, understanding your source data, making sure that, what's in the data is accurately represented. There's sufficient context for the AI to make an analysis. And if you're sufficiently happy with that, then, the AI can then very quickly do summaries for you and organize the data. That part you shouldn't be too worried about. So maybe those are just some quick advice, and then maybe some people might have additional questions. Just the final point, I'm not sure, Eugene, do you want to, you could go to like the homepage and there's like a sample project that you could show your participants, but I'm not sure if you manage to, if you go to the homepage, I think at the bottom, if you just scroll just a little bit, you'll see view sample project. So right below, no, I think that right below the banner, so all the way on top.
Okay, just a sec.
Yeah, here.
Maybe I just go here.
No, actually, no, just right. If you scroll a little bit down, just a slight tad, there's a few buttons. Yeah, so you could view sample document analysis.
Okay.
And then you could showcase some of the sample insights that the report will give you. And in the meantime, you can wait for the analysis to be completed.
Yeah, thank you very much, James, for that. And thank you for coming in. One of the things that we would like to handle, because our last bit of the session is on the ethics with regard to use of AI. And of course, you already put some hints already with regard to that inside your address. But we would like to now be very vivid. How best can someone comfortably quote AILYZE as a tool for analysis, and how best are you already accepted as a reference or a source that we can actually quote that we used AILYZE?
Yeah, so if you go to About in the navigation bar at the top, there's a section called How to Cite Us. Yeah, so you can actually go there and you'll see some sample papers that already cite us. These are all peer-reviewed papers. And you could look through some of those papers, but at the top, there's also this sample justification. So you can understand, how to cite this and what passes peer reviews and reviewers in terms of the explanation. So these are just some examples that you could use. There's also a download for the citation. If you use some citation software, you could use it. So these are just an example, but the key takeaway is what Eugene talked about, just making sure that it's clear that you used AI, but also clear that it's just to help you organize some of the insights, but you are fundamentally still doing all the analysis and synthesis.
Yeah. Thank you very much, James, for that. And colleagues, I don't know if I think we have reached that stage of Q&A as we look at also what the project can do. Is it possible if we have, I know for that matter, I have some of my professors here. I know they're here. I also know I have some of my students here. I also know I have my colleagues whom we also work on some development projects also on this call, and also practitioners from other places. The floor is open for questions. Please feel free. I see a hand already. Sylvia, is it possible you come in and support on the Q&A? Sylvia? Seems... Okay, maybe she left. Okay, I'm gonna let me run through this. We have a couple of questions, I guess. Let me see. Please, how can I get access to this AI tool? That is Mustafa. I think your friends already have access, but I think James can still address this, but let's first deal with this question here. What is your experience regarding AI codes and themes and those generated without? Are they usually in sync? I can go first on this before James comes in. So I have done manual coding where we use papers and stickers and highlighters. So I have that experience. I have experience with also the other traditional digital tools. We have the MaxQDA, we have Atlas TI, we have NVivo, and I have experience. Now, when I moved from paper-based coding, coding, when the traditional tools came into play, they were really handy because you don't have to worry about where now should I get this script from, because I can easily run to a script inside that particular tool and I get the script. Made work really easy. And what now makes a difference with AILYZE comes into play is the ability for it to now be in position to tell a story around it. Of course, we have seen the conversational AI in NVivo, Atlas TI, and other tools, still works. But there is a detail that AILYZE brings into play and gives you a much more, a much better story that you can actually, what the other tools gives you in terms of codes and themes, it might not necessarily identify. It might try to help you, but I've seen inside this tool, it does what the AI coding, it is able to do that, and also generate for you the themes. It does the reverse actually, like I indicated in my previous image. I don't know if it is still here. The traditional form here, you move from codes, go to categories, and then do the theming right here, the funneling system. And then if you're using grounded theory, you can go deeper and now do the theorization. Now, what this tool is doing right now, it actually goes ahead and looks through your data quickly and starts from behind instead of starting from the front. So it goes ahead and actually starts from here. Instead of the traditional way is you move from this side. But now what this tool is doing and supporting us is to be able to identify quickly the themes, and you're able to categorize them and also the codes that are related to it. Now, in a traditional setting, that is very okay. I think to me, if you have to become a better researcher, qual researcher, both in development world and also in academia, you need to be able to balance these two. If this AI tool is able to give me this kind of data, and for me to be able to appreciate this, I should have also already done my background work to understand what are the mother codes from the question, the sets of questions that I have. What are the basic categories that I've already generated from the code? I showed you already inside here, inside this project, the sample codes and categories. So if you already appreciate what you have here, by the time you come and run this process inside AILYZE, you'll be able to appreciate the themes and the codes and the categories that are being created by AI. And what I've noticed is there are some things I will have realized this side that matches well with AILYZE. There are some things that I will have missed out that AILYZE actually has, but I don't have, which now adds a lot of weight on now doing this work. So if you're using these tools to support and work with you in that process, then yeah. So to me, I think at the end of the day is about how can you prove the work? Are you able to defend that work? Are you able to work with, to be in a place where I have a narration that I have looked at from AILYZE, and it really looks good. It can actually augur well in my write-up. And when I bring it in my write-up, do I have the right quote that goes along that can actually help me explain this? So all that should be able to prove whether your coding is right or wrong, but start from the traditional side so that by the time you're coming to seek for help, there is that ethical beat that you've already beaten inside you. Okay, if you run straight to AI, I think that will be a wrong move because you might already get biased by what AI gives you. But in case you have already done your groundwork, identified the documents, fed the documents, identified the codes, by the time you come to AI, you now prove this, and you should be in good position to comfortably quote Atlas AI as a tool, quote AILYZE as a tool in your write-up without any issue. I don't know if that answers your question, Anna. We have another question. Maybe, James, you can go on the, how can we access this AI tool? I think you've already responded. I think James has already responded to that. That is okay. Yeah, you've done me well, James. I think you've already responded to all of this. Good afternoon. Yes, the recording will be available. It will be uploaded on YouTube channel, and you should be able to have access as soon as we are done with this. So once you have registered, you should be able to receive this in due course. David, okay. There's a question from Jaffa to James. Thanks for your willingness to support. Okay, he's appreciating. To what extent can AILYZE give human touch to the results? I'm a research associate, and most of the time supervisors require students to show that they actually wrote with their own understanding. I'll talk to this. I don't know. I have very many professors on this call. I don't know if some of them can come. I think it will be good to hear from a professor, from a doctor regarding some of these aspects. What do you need from researchers? What do you need when you deploy? Some of the professors here are also commissioners of development projects and M&E. So if there are any of them, I think I would really love to just hear their voice on this subject matter. Any without mentioning names? I know some that I can mention names, but I don't want to mention the names. I know we have Dr. Alice around, we have Dr. Mwikali, we have Dr. Michael. It would be nice to get a question from some of you regarding this subject matter. Any one of you? I love the fact that James is already responding to most of this. This is okay. Is it okay if I saw a hand from my good friend from Senegal. Madam, you'll forgive me. Hopefully I'll pronounce this well. Mahognan.
Eugene, just a quick one.
Yes, sir.
Just to James.
Okay.
James, thank you so much for this tool. Personally, I think it works for my work, for my business, because previously I used ChatGPT and Cloud AI to analyze some of the things and also come up with those codes. Okay, and I'm really interested interested in really probably also comparing it with other tools, okay, and see the value it gets. However, I noticed that the pricing is a little bit prohibitive, even to test this tool, okay? I can give you an example. ChatGPT, the Pro version, I think we can go for around, I think last time before I stopped using it, was around 25 US dollars per month, okay? Cloud AI, we are doing $20 per month, okay? And now AILYZE is going for 50 US dollars per month, okay? Yes, I understand that it's highly specialized, okay? But for a routine researcher, I find it a little bit prohibitive. If it's for a one-off, maybe for one, like a project, okay, and you want to utilize it, maybe it's a one-off that you make sure you have all your transcripts ready, and then you spend 2-3 weeks analyzing it and coming with, that one can work. But for people who are going to use it in their daily, I mean, if you are a qualitative researcher and have so many projects spanning across the entire period of time, and you have to, pay 50 US dollars every month, I find it a little bit prohibitive for it to really scale. So that's just my insight. Otherwise, I'm really willing to deploy it into some of my projects and see how it compares with other AI tools. Thank you.
Yeah, that's very helpful feedback. So the pricing is directly linked to cost of serving these AI models. So I think in the past maybe 2 years, the cost of AI has gone down dramatically. So hopefully over time, we'll be able to give access to this tool at a lower price. So we'll hope to be able to lower it as AI costs come down. But I think you should also maybe think of it in a different way. Trying to do these manual coding, trying to come up with the themes, generating those frequencies, it will often take you, maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks. But then you're condensing that into at most 31 hour of waiting time for the AI to do all the analysis. So because that's the big difference, you save a lot of time, you get more comprehensive insights, and you get higher quality insights by having the AI process all of that data. So I think that's sort of the comparison that may be more realistic. I also see some others talk about how other tools might be able to analyze a lot of data as well. So this tool is fairly specialized to qualitative research, which is why you will get to receive the individual codes, the summaries, the frequency analyses, comparison across segments, and it's specialized so you're able to instantly use the AI report into your final report. However, other tools, if you ask it to give you themes and all that, it might not be able to, justify how does it come up with those themes, where are the codes, where are the frequencies. So it might take you a lot more time to get the analysis if you are able to get the analysis. But fundamentally, I think we're only maybe about 2 years in to this generative AI domain. So I wouldn't be, I think the domain will, evolve very quickly. Costs will also come down over time. So hopefully it's good to start to get exposed to AI. So, and be at the frontier. So once widespread adoption comes, you're well positioned to get the analysis and, be better than others at doing synthesis.
Okay, thank you so much, James, for that. Maybe again, just one last one.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much for that, clarity. Yes, I really appreciate that and understand that. Yes, the cost involved in coming up with the tool also is important, and then also the value you get compared to manual things. But I'm also looking at it to really get you off the ground, actually introducing it to our own community. And I think this is why this is my proposal to Uganda Evaluation Association. Okay,
Yes.
Probably talk to the marketing. I don't know, department, okay, for this and see how best they can give us maybe some, I don't know, yeah, maybe for the evaluation community of Uganda, if you could have maybe some special discounts for maybe 1 year or something like that. Or if there is also, I noticed the SPSS, we used to have an institution version, okay?
Institution version,
Yes, so that we can, we can pull resources and then maybe lock for a few subscribers, and the Evaluation Association can help us with that. Okay. Then lastly, about the functionality of the output from this tool. Over time, clients have started flagging AI-generated content. Okay, and this is one of the things we have not discussed. And like one of the reasons I also wanted to probably test this tool and see for myself and test with some of my projects is, would it be, okay, is it easily detected as AI generated content? Because now all over I can now tell a pattern of AI generated content. Okay, so how, I don't know how, not really elusive, but how is this distinct from these common features? Have tests been done, you see, so that it can be blended? I know really qualitative is supposed to be so much subjective, okay? And I would also want to know the experience in which this tool was developed. Was it based on either the European experience, Asian experience? Probably does it cut across now for us our local context? Okay, so that kind of thing would do. It's really something that I am not really sure of. Maybe you could share some more light gems on the output it returns. Is it easily flagged up as AI generated content? Is it different from content from ChatGPT? Has it been evaluated? Something like that. Thank you.
Yeah, so in terms of AI generated content, the AI is just summarizing what your data is showing you. It's just summarizing the quotes from your interview transcripts, from the reports that you upload. So you'll see that within the analysis, it quotes all the different quotes from the participants. So the risk so far that we've seen with people trying to use some of the analysis of AI generated content is fairly low, because it's just repeating what the participants are saying, and what your participants are saying is not AI generated content. So I would say that, in general, AI is just summarizing the data. It's not trying to do an interpretation. It's not trying to do a synthesis. You still have to do synthesis. And that relates to what you talked about, which is, is it from a European perspective or Asian perspective? It really does not try to do much interpretation. If your participant said that I love this program, it just repeats a lot of participants said that I love the program. And then here, that's a dominant viewpoint. And then maybe the AI tells you some of the top reasons are that it was, very convenient, very well organized. And then you have to dig deep into doing the actual synthesis to say, okay, well organized, that's a very high level viewpoint, but then I'll dig deeper into, given my context and my understanding of the environment and the program, what does that well organized mean? And then I'll put in my own interpretation and synthesis. So the AI is not gonna give you some out there interpretation. It's just repeating back what your data is telling you. And then you layer on your interpretation to say what that means in the context of your research. So I wouldn't say those would be big risks, although what I did say as risk that you should be mindful of is, because the AI just summarizes what your participants are saying, you still need to be careful. It's not like you should be taking your participants' viewpoints at face value. You shouldn't be taking your data at face value. You still need to do a lot of critical thinking.
That is very right. And maybe something to just add on top of it. AI is here to stay. Like our first pointer today was adaptability and resilience. we're not going to run away from this. And I've seen a very good question from one of our colleagues saying the professors in Uganda, and I'm sure in other places have not accepted this. I've also seen a very good, brilliant question around how research committees, ethics committees can actually accept this. But we have ways of addressing this. And to me, one of the ways you can address this, because most of these research institutions have already accepted the use of NVivo and Atlas TI, which has conversational AI embedded in it. Just like a tool, AILYZE is also a tool. And to me, I can actually get justification for using it. But you need to still go back to the basics. And the basics are, what are those modes of approach? So you've already defined the traditional means and sets of approach that you've already defined either in your inception report for the development project or your proposal for academic purposes. If that is already defined, then it should be able and easy to be able to find a way to justify it for an IRB council ethical community. So I think it's just how you curate the message in those panels for IRBs. They should be able to, if they see the sense, fine. But when you go for those discussions also, you should be open-minded. You can suggest, but you can also tell them if this cannot meet the requirements, then we are able to back down to the acceptable models. So you should be able to have a conversation in an IRB council. It should not be punitive, really, but should be a discussion of minds that want to come up with a solution for a better world. So our project has not gotten finished, but I'm also happy that we have addressed some things that are around AI models. I would like to get two questions. I know we are out of time, but I would like to get at least 2 questions. And one from either, I see Ephraim is here, but my good friend has also raised her hand. You'll forgive me, my dear, from Senegal. And maybe we'll get your question before we go to Ephraim. I saw your hand up. Okay, she's not in, so probably we can take one from, let's take one from Ephraim. Ephraim, I see your hand up. Okay, we cannot hear you. Ephraim, Patrick?
Yes, I hope you can hear me. I wanted to jump on this one.
Yes.
So thanks for sharing this and truly appreciate. I'm someone who has used NVivo before and went into deep qualitative analysis, but recently I did a project across 8 countries and totally doing qualitative analysis and used Perplexity to analyze over 200 qualitative transcripts. And it really did a good job in a very short period of time with pressure from whoever needed the report done. And I'm wondering, why would I use AILYZE that has some bits of coding etc, yet I only need to give an AI tool a query with specifics of what I want my data to look like, and can also actually direct me to the transcripts where the quotes are, etc for authenticity, and also pay 50 USD a month, and the other side I have to pay 20 USD a month to get work done. I'm wondering, why would I go for AI lines?
Okay, thank you, Patrick, for that question. My background is in computing, so I'll speak with a lot of confidence on this matter. We have models that have been generated, and all of them, LLMs, Gen AI, all of them, they're doing they basically do one thing: look for where the data is, bring that data close to you, curated in a way that you can actually easily understand. Now, first of all, AILYZE doesn't need you to code. So what I was doing, the demo I was doing before, was on my personal basis, me as a researcher, looking and ensuring that I can proof the quotes. So I wrote, so that is my way of proofing my work. So I don't want to send something to a client that is not right. So that's why I was showing you the earlier code that you saw. And it has nothing to do with AILYZE. AILYZE might have this in the backend, but me, I have it here for my purpose. The script, which for those ones who will be very much interested, I can share this. It's only a 98 line code. Initially, it was around 200 or something. But this is on a personal basis. It has nothing to do with AILYZE. AILYZE gives you content as is, and as you see here, there's no code that you're going to see inside here. Instead, it has very good graphics. It has already toned down the themes, and inside the theme, sub-themes, and inside each sub-theme, you might be able to start now seeing the codes for each specific one. So AILYZE, the code is already in the back end running to ensure that you get this. So that one is out of the way. Secondly, James already talked about this, but I think I'll also address it a little bit. You see, when you're creating a go-to-market product, there are considerations that you put into play, especially if it's a startup thing. Now, this model that we're using for AILYZE is very specific. We know exactly what we want. So, for instance, I can give an instruction to Perplexity AI in a certain space. But as time goes by, it will start hallucinating. And believe me or not, it will. Because the more you feed that data in, the more it now also gets tired. Now, one thing I appreciate AILYZE is one, it helps you to, first of all, you have actually seen that last window. That last window tells you which category. Are you in academia? Are you in evaluation? Are you in market research? If you are in evaluation, which kind do you want to operate? Do you want to do a program evaluation? Do you want to do an insight set? And it gives you all those. Now, inside program evaluation, do you want to do an impact analysis? Or do you want to do a formative analysis? Do you want to do a process evaluation? And all those things, it gives a structure to what kind of data is going to be curated for that particular set of work. And I think, to me, that is already an advantage that AILYZE have over the rest, because the rest will actually have to write a super big prompt to actually get what AILYZE is actually already doing for you. So that is the difference I see. And when it comes to the money's bit, I think James has already hinted on this. And there are very many ways. And I think this is one of the platforms where he's also receiving feedback. And from that feedback, probably one or two things might happen. We have given an example of SPSS, which has an educator model where people in research who are students, who can prove they're actually students, receive certain subsidies and so on and so forth. So there are different kinds of models, but if I have to compare my last 3 jobs that I've done using Atlas TI and proofing it with AILYZE, AILYZE was closer to what I have with what is inside my Atlas TI. And to me, I think that's already a message that actually what we are using is already close to what we can achieve. And there are certain things that are actually missing that actually, by virtue of the rigor that we were receiving from the sets of prompts that are being asked inside AILYZE, it drives the point home. So I think the issue here is just on the dollars, and I think maybe James can take this home with his team and talk about it and see how best to address it. James, do you have something to say?
Sorry, brother Eugene, my mic was not where I think I cannot speak.
Yes. Carry on, my friend.
Okay, thank you very much for this evaluation talk. Really, it's very important for many of us. Yes, both you and your colleague actually indicated that it's not everything that is that we can take home having been generated through the use of AI, which is true, but quite a lot in terms of significance is actually being generated out of that. Now, I want you to say something, maybe you or your colleague, to say something in terms of how to disclose, how best, if we are talking about best practices, modern trends in terms of disclosing the use of AI, if we are talking about a professional product, say a technical proposal to be submitted. Thank you.
James, do you want to address that?
Yeah, so I think in terms of disclosure, under the webpage, there under About, you'll see this option to cite us, and this is a sample justification for how you should disclose the use of AILYZE, as well as some peer-reviewed publications that have used it and shown that it's effective, including some human AI comparisons and how it's reliable. So that's something that you could use to disclose. But of course, depending on your own institutions, your own clients, they might have their own frameworks or guidelines, which you should also look into. There's also dedicated sections on things like AI explainability, data security, privacy on the website. And so you could look at those different components to help to understand how we safeguard those different AI risks and use that in your disclosure as well if you need to.
So Ephraim, this page here, you can just go to this page under AILYZE About, then you look at under how to cite us, and you should be able to see how best you can actually cite AILYZE inside your works. And I think, if the institution accepts, fine. If it doesn't, then you've got to move on and see what else you can work with. But this is already here. To me, even if they refuse, I can still come back and see what AILYZE can give to me, and then still use the other model to prove what needs to be done. So there are many ways to work this so that you don't lose. To me, if I use many tools to prove one thing, I think that is already value. So I don't lose anything. I see, I don't know who, sorry? There was somebody speaking. HP.
Thank you.
Maybe HP can tell us exactly who you are.
Sorry. I didn't put my name, but I wish to know, will the developer give us some grace period for us to appreciate this tool? Some of us have not been able to test how this really works. So we really need to have some time with it and appreciate it so well, such that we can determine how best we can start using it and could we start paying for it. Because from the presentation, it really makes perfect sense. Someone would need to explore how really this works. Thank you.
Yeah. So I didn't get your name though, but it's fine. So
It's okay,
your colleagues
Ivan.
already have access. Sorry?
I'm called Ivan.
Ivan, okay. Your
Yes.
colleagues already have a 14-day trial from yesterday for the next 14 days. So you might want to share your email with me, but James had already made a dummy account, which you can still access. Maybe what you do, just share your email address. Then we can easily see how to get you in after this.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Okay, right. Okay, I know we are how many minutes in? We are 18 or so minutes outside our block, but I really appreciate that we were able to have all of you here. We had 200 and something people who came in for this session. Very inspiring. We are really grateful that we were able to make it. And I would like to thank Uganda Evaluation Association for giving us an opportunity to showcase this tool and its ability to the development world and what it can do for the researchers in their communities. To our professors who are here, the doctors, hopefully by seeing what you've seen, we can try to, as best as we can, support the use of such tools, but of course, ethically sound way. One thing that still makes me laugh is that I will disapprove a report after I have made it go through an AI tool to say it is AI generated. So, interesting things out there. But all I can say is we are really, really grateful to UEA and this organization of this platform. Personally, I'm very grateful to James for, first of all, offering to be my co-speaker in this session. And secondly, for also offering to give a trial license to everybody who had actually responded to the call earlier on in the week. So really, thank you very much, everybody. And James, do you have any parting shot?
So I'd also like to thank everyone for the good engagement. This is probably just some initial exposure to different AI features. So feel free to try out the platform.